Chevron Delo is announcing a break with convention, giving you even more reasons to choose Delo.
Today, we're here to talk about something pretty sweet. It is an application that was designed by one of you, someone in the industry that saw a problem that needed fixing, and so he went out and built an app to fix it. Today, we're here to talk with Matt from GradeStake Pro about his application and how it can potentially help you on your job site. So from what I understand, GradeStake is a tool that you've implemented to kind of help translating grade stakes, that whole process, easier for boots on the ground. Is that correct?
Yes, I came up with the GradeStake Pro app after just trials and tribulations working in the field, younger guys on the job, trying to keep the dozer moving, and the human errors that we ran into. You know, there's that disconnect from the physical grade stakes on the job site versus your GPS system. We run all GPS equipment, but you still need to manually check that to make sure your output is what your output's saying it is.
Yeah.
And the human error I ran into, the variance of different people doing it, I said there got to be a better way, and that's why I came up with this app.
And so at just a high level, can you tell us what GradeStake does, and then we'll kind of get into a demo of it?
Okay. Well, the GradeStake app basically takes all your job information, which is inputted in inches. You know, we got the curb height, we got the concrete depth, if you have an asphalt overlay, rock, different levels of rock, and it also deals with your dirt levels. All that's in inches from the blueprints in your plans. It converts that into tenths, so you can do your math when you come to the actual GradeStake. So once you have your job information entered, then you go to the next screen, which takes you to your GradeStake information, and you just fill in the GradeStake information, you hit calculate. And it'll take you to the last screen, and it'll give you all your answers. It'll tell you where you need to be for top of rock, top of dirt, etc.
So that being said, can we run a couple scenarios through the GradeStake Pro app and just kind of get a feel for how the process works?
Absolutely. So here with the actual app, once you log in, it's going to take you to your job info. This is where all your job information is located. So you got two options. Now, depending on how your company would want to set it up, the administrator could be dealing with this and entering all this information, or you can have a superintendent or a foreman or somebody in charge out in the field entering this at the job. But you have the option of adding a new job, or you can go down to your pull-down menu and you can pick a job.
Okay. And really, if I'm understanding this screen correctly, what this is going to do is kind of give us the concrete measurements of what our curb height's going to be on this job, what our concrete depth is going to be in stone grade?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to enter a new job here. Job notes is free text. You can put down station numbers or any other notes you need to keep track of. Curb height for this one, we're going to do 6 inches. There's going to be no asphalt overlay. We'll do a concrete depth of 8 inches. And then the rock depth, you can add multiple layers of rock if the job calls for it.
So if we had a sand grade and a stone grade, this is where we could modify that as well?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So we're just going to do a modified sub-base out of the ABC quarry. It's going to be 9 inches. And then we're going to save our job information. Okay. Jobs created. Now our job name is going to appear up here in the upper right-hand corner, Project the Dirt.
Okay.
That's kind of a sanity check. Every screen you go to, it's going to make sure it gives you the job information so you know you're on the right job. Now you have 4 options once you get to the stake info. We all know read and grade stakes. Once the surveyor sets those, they pick an elevation. So it's either top of slab or finished grade here, bottom of slab at the bottom of the concrete, top of curb, or your subgrade. Those are the 4 we have. So around the Midwest where I work, top of slab is encountered 90% of the time.
Sure.
Then you have your fill or your cut. So whichever one you choose, and then you put in a number value, whatever it says on the GradeStake. So in this scenario, we have a fill of 6/10. And you hit calculate. Goes to the next page. Again, job numbers up here at the top. We have a sanity check for the stake information. We put in top of slab, we put in a fill, and it was 6/10. And here's our values where we need to be for top of rock, top of dirt.
And so it's breaking each of those items down so I know exactly what my math is.
Absolutely. This takes it down to the 100th. And you know as well as I do, people when they're out in the field, it's hot, it's sweaty, we're trying to move around, we've got equipment moving around us. people start rounding. And when you start dropping those hundreds off those numbers, you can start being a half, tenth, or tenth off after a while if you extrapolate that out.
Sure.
This gives you solid information one time. And so now the end user is in a circular path right now. So only button they have to hit is back to stake info. They go to the next stake. Say the next stake's a cut of 1.58. There's your answers.
Interesting. And so very quickly, I can just run down a whole row of stakes. I don't have to do any thinking. I just have to input the numbers on the stakes, and then it's going to export all of the information I need to actually fill in the information for my operator that's chasing me, or whatever I need to do with that information.
Absolutely. What I've been doing it with is some of the younger guys, I'll give them 2-color pens, and I'll have them put TR and TD with the number value on the stake below the information that's already on there. So we got top of rock and top of dirt. That way someone else comes out and wants to do a spot check, the information's already on there. They don't even have to go to the app again. But they can go to that stake, know those numbers are correct because it was done in the app and the math's correct. We eliminate that human error as best as possible.
So Matt, one of my questions is, why should someone consider an application like GradeStake Pro?
But before we get into that, I want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Chevron Lubricants. These past few years have been less than easy. We've encountered challenges we never imagined we'd ever have to deal with. From makeshift home offices and video meetings, to global supply chain uncertainty, price instability, market disruptions, and everything in between. Delivering the level of services and products our customers had come to expect was difficult for all of us. We can't change what's behind us, but we can definitely learn from it. We can adapt, evolve, and take steps to reset our thinking, adapt our strategies, and restore your trust in us to better meet your needs, now and in the future. That change begins today. Today we break with convention and introduce a rebalanced line of Delo heavy-duty engine oils. We've reduced our product line from 4 categories to 2. Consolidated and simplified, this lineup removes complexity from the manufacturing processes, enhancing price stability and supply chain reliability, so you can trust you will have the premium products you need to keep your business always moving forward. Our break with convention optimizes the Delo lineup to allow you to provide your customers with the best synthetic blend and synthetic heavy-duty engine oils in the market, fully available at prices you can rely on. It's your assurance that you'll be well positioned to be their trusted source for proven engine protection that keeps equipment on the job, giving your customers even more reasons to choose Delo.
Why should someone consider an application like GradeStake Pro?
Well, with the way the economy is right now and the way jobs are going, things are getting tight out there. The bottom line matters. Your margins are so razor thin right now. Here in the Midwest, we're experiencing companies buying jobs.
100%.
I'm not sure how that is in other places, but right now people are buying jobs just to keep their guys working.
Yes.
That doesn't give you much room. When you're in that kind of aggressive market, everything you can do to make yourself better has to be put out there. The cost of my app is so insignificant to the problems it solves. It's a no-brainer. Just the time it would save your employee going down and doing the grade stakes, say they got 100 grade stakes on a job, the time they could save, they'll pay for it just within the hourly salary for the year. So it's a low cost, but the return is huge. You look at the different breakdowns of the process, and we have some with the GPS. Now, GPS is awesome. Everybody should be running GPS, but there are some limitations. You get some interference with the clouds, trees, other bases close by. You have some equipment issues if you don't have your hydraulics set up correctly, your tolerances set up there, you have blade wear. So we have some variables there. They're small, but they're there, and you need to acknowledge them. Then you have operator error. Operator running the machine too fast, he's not paying attention to the blade or how the dirt's rolling out from underneath the blade, and you lose some grade there. You know, the other thing is with the app, it takes out the human error of conversion. So we get guys that move from job to job, they get to a certain stage, and they'll get in their head, well, I was at this job yesterday, it was 9 inches of concrete and 10 inches of rock. Well, today's job, we're 6 inches of concrete and we're 7 inches of rock. And it's, not nothing they meant to do intentionally, but they screw up and they get the numbers mixed up in their heads. You got the right job in here, it takes care of all that for you. It takes care of the conversion, it takes care of the math, it takes care of those, slip of mind mistakes. And plus it speeds it up and it gives that end user so much more confidence in what they're doing. Their performance rises when they use this app. So for example, just doing a simple 2-lane road, 33 foot wide, so you get some offset for the paver to get down, 300 foot long, so inside radius to radius in one city block. If you're off 800ths or an inch of rock, that's 50 ton of rock. I don't know what the ton per ton price is in your area, but here it's about $24, $25.
It ain't cheap. Yeah.
You're talking $1,200 just for the rock. That's not the truck.
Just for the rock.
Just for the rock. You're not talking the trucking. You're not talking the additional use of the machine to put it down and roll it back in. You're not talking about any of that extra time. And, God forbid, you got the dirt elevation wrong and you didn't get enough rock. Now you're stripping rock off. Now we got bigger problems.
Absolutely.
Because the rework went from hours to days. Plus you got contaminated rock. Inspectors are not going to let you put it back down, and things spiral out of control quickly.
Yeah. From here, I guess my question is, how does this work as far as a payment method? And we don't have to get into the actual pricing, but is the structure, is it a subscription-based model? Is this something that I'm purchasing an app? How does that work?
It's a subscription. So a customer would have to buy an administrative license, which is one charge. And then there's a very minimal charge per user per month, which they can turn on and off as they need. So say you have a company of 50 people and 30 of them work street reconstruction or jobs that are heavy with grade stake. You can turn on 20 of those at the beginning of the year. If some guys leave, you drop them off. You add some guys however you need it. But you have the flexibility of adding or subtracting throughout the year, month by month.
Gotcha. And then from the design here, it looks like this is already set up to work on a mobile phone. And I'm assuming that's what you've kind of geared it towards, is someone pulling their phone out of their pocket.
Correct. Yes, this is all geared towards using it on your phone. It's a mobile web-based app. So we're not in the app stores. It's a web-based app. It's been working very well for us. We've had this in place since August of last year.
Gotcha. Okay. And so if someone wanted to look into getting GradeStake Pro on their job site, where would they go to get more information and perhaps look into the pricing structure?
www.gradestakepro.com. They can request a demo or info, and we will be in touch with them right away.
Perfect. Well, Matt, thank you for the demonstration, and we appreciate the tool you're offering to the industry.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thanks again for Matt coming on the show to talk about GradeStake Pro. As you can see, this is a nifty little tool that can absolutely save you some serious money down the road just by preventing human error, which we are all prone to on our job sites. So as always, I hope this helps you in your business. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Dirt.